This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Wednesday, August 31. In Squiz Kids Today, moon mission aborted. Sloth fur medicine. Serena's US Open farewell, and don't drink your own wee. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, abort. The most anticipated rocket launch all year was called off at the last minute in the wee small hours of yesterday morning after it was discovered there was a leak in the rocket's engine. With only 40 minutes to go before its engines were supposed to fire, and the biggest rocket ship ever built, Artemis 1, was supposed to head off on its mission to the moon, a decision was made to abandon the launch. Now, a leak in the engine of your mum and dad's car is one thing. Not great, but not the end of the world. But a leak in the engine of a multi-billion-dollar rocket carrying billions of dollars worth of state-of-the-art space technology, whose launch was being watched by millions of people around the world, well, that's something else again. Not wanting to risk the rocket exploding on takeoff, the engineers at the American Space Agency, NASA, made the last-minute decision to abort the launch. Abort is a fancy word for abandon or stop. In NASA speak, the launch was scrubbed. Remember, this rocket launch is a test run for NASA's attempt to put humans back on the moon, which is so cool. Engineers will now work to try and fix the engine leak, with the next available date for a second attempt at liftoff being this Saturday. I've stuck a link to video of the rocket launch scrubbing in today's episode notes, plus a video showing the journey the rocket will eventually take.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Costa Rica in Central America, where sloth fur has been found to contain medicine. Scientists working with the ultra-slow, ultra-cute critters have long known that algae, the green plant that you most often find growing in ponds, grows in sloth fur, which is incredible. But now it's being found that sloth fur also produces a kind of bacteria, which could be used to create antibiotics, which is a kind of medicine that humans use all the time. Further studies will be undertaken now on the bacteria to see if it might be used in medicines that you and I might take when we get sick. Lots of medicines that we buy at the chemist have their origins in plants and bacteria that occur naturally in the world. And lots of indigenous cultures around the world use plants to create traditional medicines. Meanwhile, for no other reason than because it's obscenely cute, I've stuck a link in today's episode notes to a video of baby sloths in a sloth sanctuary in Costa Rica. You, my friends, are very welcome.
Sport time.
It was more showbiz than sport yesterday when tennis champ Serena Williams stepped out on the court for her first round match in the US Open tennis tournament. Wearing a black sequined dress under a gold sequined cape, all set off by a black sequined Nike headband, Serena played the first match in what will be the last tennis tournament of her very impressive career. After 27 years of playing tennis and with an astonishing 23 Grand Slam titles to her name, Serena has decided it's time to hang up the racket and tackle some new challenges in life. But not before she beat her US Open first-round opponent Danka Kovinic in straight sets, in front of a celebrity-heavy crowd that included her showbiz friends Hugh Jackman and Rebel Wilson. 15 love to Serena.
Squiz Kids salutes.
It's a Wednesday, and that means welcoming back to Squiz Kids HQ everyone's favourite newshound, Squizzy. Who has been out and about sniffing out fishy stories on the internet? And today his nose is twitching overtime, having stumbled upon a very stinky smelling story. A Facebook post has been doing the rounds claiming that drinking your own wee can cure diseases including cancer. Now, as well as being gross, it's also really dangerous for these sorts of health claims to be made on social media without any scientific backing. People might believe it and drink their own wee if you can believe it, and well, doctors say that's not really very good for you. So, Squizzy did what all good newshounds do when they come across something they think could be a little bit fishy on social media or the internet. He remembered to stop, think, and check. A quick Google search revealed that lots of articles by actual medically trained doctors in reputable scientific publications poo-pooing the idea, see what I've done there, that drinking wee cures cancer. Phew! Thanks, Squizzy. You've saved the day again. On the subject of Squizzy, don't forget, at the beginning of October we'll be launching Newshounds, our super excellent new media literacy program for primary school kids. It's an 8-part podcast series with an accompanying classroom booklet teaching you how to become critical consumers of information, which is to say helping you work out what's real and what's not on the internet. Thanks to our partners at the Google News Initiative, the Newshounds by Squiz Kids media literacy program will be available free to all classrooms in Australia and New Zealand. We'll be talking about it a whole lot more in the weeks to come, but to find out more and to register your interest, go to squizkids.com.au/newshounds. I've stuck a link to it in today's episode notes.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What's the name of the tennis player who's announced she's retiring at the end of the US Open? Yeah, that's right, it's Serena Williams. Question number 2. What has a Facebook post been falsely claiming we should drink to cure diseases like cancer? Yeah, that's right. It's been claiming we should drink wee. Ridiculous. Question number 3. Bacteria in the fur of which animal may be able to be used to make medicines for humans? Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about sloths.
Shout-outs.
It's August 31, the national day for the countries of Malaysia, Kyrgyzstan and the Caribbean islands of Trinidad and Tobago. How international. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Abby from Exeter, Isabella from Fig Tree Pocket, Ava from Sydney, Indy from Caulfield, Alvin from Oatley, Arwen from Lucas, Etta from Garran, Hanisi from Cronulla, Andes from Kalara, Ava from Wagga Wagga, Grace from Camarunga, and Max from Bathurst. And a belated birthday shout-out goes to Stephen from Tayton. And classroom shout-outs today go to Class 5B with Mr. Fit and Mr. G at Tyab Primary School, Years 3 and 4 at Exeter Public School, Class 3-4B and Miss Garland at Lake Bolac College, Class 3-4H and Miss Henderson at Epping West Public School, Class 6S and Mrs. Drewer at Christian College in Bellarine, and finally to Mr. Till at Sturt Public School in Wagga Wagga. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.